Let's do this thing! Ah! You weren't expecting that, were you? Here, come on in. Come on closer. Come on, come on, come on. Ah! All right. Anyway, I'd like to talk to you today about fitness. No, I'm totally kidding. It's movement. We don't need no stinking fitness. I just pounded like 5 coconut-covered zingers. You know, those things. What are those called? Tiger tails? I don't know what they call them. All right. So here's the deal. I've got... How do I follow that up? Okay, so I've got the magnetized movement trays that we sell up on the website. It's automated checkout. Beautiful. So link for that is below. And you also need to get little metal plates to put on your figures so they will stick. So here's how they work. So here's what the trays look like. They're just over 1/8 of an inch thick. And they have magnetic sheeting on them. So in order to stick, you can't have magnets on the bottoms of your figures because they won't. The magnets in the magnets will actually, you know, mess up the polarity. So so you glue them on the base and stick them on like that. Now the trick to getting the metal plates on, which we will do as a service if you commission your army. You don't have to do it yourself. We do it for you. Is you put super glue on like a piece of cardboard or something. Put the super glue on it, and then you take the figure and you actually just kind of touch it to the super glue. And then you have your plate nearby, and you carefully bring the figure up and set it on just perfectly, just like that. So that's how you do that. And we do make them just a tad wide so that your guys can fit on it. And that is the great, like if they're not friendly with each other and they need a little gap, these trays will still work. And that is why they are so wonderful. And they work fine even if a guy, you know, overlaps the edge a little bit. Just so forgiving, an absolute must. And they stick on there real nice, and if there's like a hill or something, you know, the guys won't be falling all over each other. And don't do this at home, but most of the time you can actually flip the guys over and they will stick, assuming they are all flat on there, so like that. You notice I have my hand, because I've done this before with like metal figures, and they were like clunk, 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 ah! But they stick enough for casual play, for sure, and for plastic or resin figures that are really light, they will, you know, stick on there quite nicely. Like these I know will do it right. So there's that. So the plates that you need, there's 30 millimeter, 25, 20, 15, and what we call cav, which are actually 20 millimeter by 40 millimeter. They're like this. So if you, so for cavalry, which are 25 by 50, they actually stick on the bottom, and they don't go all the way to the edge, but you don't really need that. If you have 40 millimeter bases, you need these. These or 2 of these will actually hold on like a chariot-sized base, a goodly sized base. In other news, a 25 millimeter round base can actually take one of these 20 millimeter squares, will kind of, the tips will kind of hit the edge, and you can add some weight to your round bases. So these metal plates are fantastic. Later on we'll be adding some even smaller sizes, because there's yet another use for these metal plates, which is they're useful for magnetization. Very useful, because you don't have to mess with polarity, and the strength is always just about right. So you put them on like the interiors of hatches, and the thing will stick. Like let's say there's a hole, and so while you're doing it, you put this on the underside and glue it. So 30s and 25s are really good for that. You can also put them on the interior just of a flat plastic plate and just glue this on one side, and the magnet will stick to it on the other side, which is just basically a flawless join. So later we'll be putting up these I believe are 15 by 10 millimeter. And those are great for exteriors of certain models to just clamp them on. So yeah, and the 15s are good for that too. So there you go. It's a great product. We do a good job. We're very picky with the movement trays. Like if there's a flaw or something on them, they're out. So we do them pretty precise, and they're an absolute must for games where guys are ranked up in a giant brick, because there's no way you're going to push those around. And if you're ever confronted with the pathetic sight of someone actually moving, 20 guys up, then you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. You really do need movement trays. Oh, one last note. Like, let's say you have a unit that's 5 wide and 30 deep. You can, I'm doing that thing, but I'm not apologetic. You do them 10 at a time, and that way when the casualties come off, you don't have this weird tray kind of hanging off in the wind and flapping. However, if you email me, I can do custom sizes, and those are for a flat amount for pretty much, unless you wanted like, a giant ceiling tile of a move tray, we'll just do any configuration that you want for that flat amount. Is that it? Yeah, that's the movement trays. So check out the link, go get your movement trays and your plates, and get yourself organized. Oh, and they're great for when you put away your army. You stick them on, and then you put them in the bin or whatever it is. In fact, let me just show you what that looks like. So you go to the game shop, and this is what you have. Ba-bam! Ready to go, already ranked up, everything beautiful. And I've just got to tell you, these trays are really quite the way to fly. All right, I'm really done.